My name is Megan Ruskowski. I'm a marketing manager here at Treehouse Interactive. We're going to close the Channel Marketer's Toolbox webinar series today on a high note by welcoming Maria Chien, Research Director for Serious Decisions, in today's live broadcast, How Partner Marketing Enablement and PRM Fit Together. I'm going to start things off by just quickly introducing you all to Treehouse Interactive in case you're not familiar. Treehouse is a SaaS provider of award-winning solutions for partner relationship management and marketing automation. We are headquartered in Salt Lake City and were founded in 1997. We are privately held and are proud to count Commvault, Rackspace, SGI, Quantum, and ViaWest among our clients, just to name a few. Treehouse is a Salesforce CRM partner and member of the AppExchange. We are an Oracle Gold partner as well as a Microsoft Dynamics CRM partner. Now, just a little bit about our philosophy for webinars. We really try to bring you real-world experience full of recommendations and advice that you can go back to your desk and immediately implement. In order to do this, we provide you real-world examples whenever possible. Now, just a little housekeeping. There is a GoToWebinar chat functionality to the right in your menu so that you can submit questions along the way. We try to keep this session as interactive as possible, so please feel free to upload your questions, and then we'll get to those at the end. Any of those we don't get to, we will provide our contact information, and you can follow up after. In addition, we will be recording this webinar, so if you need to step away or end a little early, we will email you the link afterwards so that you can have that available as well. Next, I'd like to go ahead and introduce you to Eric Flynn. Eric has been the Chief Executive Officer of Treehouse for over 10 years. He joined Treehouse after an extensive sales and marketing career with several high-tech companies, including Fujitsu, iOmega, and Quantum. He's been largely responsible for Treehouse's growth rate of over 35% year over year for our PRM business, and that's been growing by 75%. He's also been responsible for building channel brands from 0 to 1 billion in 24 months. So he's got a lot of great experience to share with you related to the channel today. So with that, Eric, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Megan. I'll try to live up to that introduction. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing everyone to Maria Chien, Research Director at Serious Decisions. Maria's got over 20 years experience in partner and channel marketing, and she's currently a research analyst for the Channel Management Strategy Service at Serious Decisions. She has hands-on experience in partner and sales enablement, value proposition, and sales tools development, and sales engagement. The majority of her career was spent at Sun Microsystems, which many of us know. Most recently in Sun's global channel marketing organization as a global partner programs manager responsible for developing and implementing a global sales enablement strategy for key products and programs to ensure sales readiness and increase partner adoption. She's been at Sirius for over 3.5 years now, and I want to welcome Maria to today's webinar. Before Maria jumps in, just a quick look at our agenda. We're going to start off with Maria and the topic of improving partner effectiveness and demand creation and driving better performance. And then Maria's going to pass to me, and we're going to talk about how we take those best practices Maria's going to talk about in the beginning of our webinar and put them to good use and through partner communication and through partner marketing. And in specific, we're going to talk about automated co-branded collateral, on-demand co-branded email and nurturing campaigns, and how Partner Marketplace can drive leads for your partners. Then we'll jump into Q&A, which tends to be generate a lot of interest for a lot of folks. And again, as Megan said, the chat function's to your right, so feel free to enter questions as we go along. And with that, I am going to turn it over to our valued guest today, Maria Chien. Maria, welcome, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Eric and Megan, and I will also try to live up to that introduction, Eric. Thank you so much. It is my pleasure to be with you today, and I look forward to spending the next hour or so discussing something that I'm very passionate about, channel and partner marketing. But just to level set with everyone, for those of you who are not familiar with Serious Decisions, I just wanted to give you a very quick introduction. We are a research and advisory services firm that delivers the fact-based operational intelligence that B2B sales, marketing, and product leaders need to maximize top-line growth. As a member of our executive advisory services, each member interface receives access to the research portal, analyst inquiry, an annual custom benchmark assessment, of which I'm going to share some of that data with you today, invitations to our executive peer roundtables and monthly research webcasts. In addition to the advisory services that Serious Decisions offers, we have actually Serious Decisions Learning, which offers online training on the core concepts that we believe are required in today's B2B environment. We are exclusively a B2B organization in our research and advisory services. And our courses include the step-by-step methodologies required to bring our best practice concepts to life and make them actionable in your organization. But having said that, I want to thank you again for joining us today. And without further ado, I'd like to get started on today's topic. In my role as a research director at Serious Decisions, we take a look at, and many of our clients struggle with, how to improve upon partner effectiveness, particularly as it relates to demand creation and driving program performance. And I'm often, as other research analysts on our team, are posed with a question: what's the most effective use of incentive funds, MDF, co-op, marketing discretionary funds? And how can we drive greater engagement with our partners and ROI on those demand programs? And that's an extremely important question. But as I start to examine that question, I recognize that one of the lenses that we're not using is, what about partner experience? That's a very internally focused question. So using the lens of supplier and partner, we're going to examine some of the key areas where we can drive greater engagement and see greater returns on the investments that we're making. And how we approach these questions, I mentioned that we're a fact-based intelligence gathering organization, is through extensive research. So we use that fact-based intelligence, client interaction, as well as that custom benchmark surveys that I mentioned, and we collect spend information as a true indicator of resource allocation and focus. And we've used that benchmark information to collect how organizations are spending, channel organizations, channel sales, channel marketing, channel operations, are spending in the areas of technology, recruitment, enablement, and demand creation. So the pillars of a partner program. But we don't just stop there. We break up that spend looking at it at 3 deployment options, looking at it through what we call supplier to partner, or marketing to your partners, partner to customer, or marketing through your partners, most commonly referred to as partner-led. And then lastly, supplier to customer, or what we see as marketing for your partners. That tends to be referred to as supplier-led or even sometimes partner-fed. And so using that information, we're able to really glean not only high-level strategic investments, but break that down into best practices across those 3 deployment options. But in order to get started, we should really focus on defining what partner-led is and what partner-led is not. So as we look at partner-led marketing, marketing through or with your partners, partner-led marketing implies that the partner delivers the last mile of the marketing program, but not necessarily by themselves. And includes the following 2 components: prescriptive marketing. So as partners engage with suppliers in marketing programs, this component ensures that they offer concierge-like guidance throughout the marketing activity. Second component would be partner-executed plays. So instead of asking partners to develop a marketing program using tactics such as white papers and case studies that they can then customize, this approach requires that the activities be pre-assembled and placed in a menu where it's easy for the partner to order and execute. And then what partner-led is not? Well, partner-led marketing does not include marketing programs where field marketing or sales, field-based sales, is providing execution services on behalf of that partner. Nor does it call for the partner to execute the play on their own without supplier assistance in the form of key marketing services. So essentially what I'm saying is that low touch should not be no touch. It should not be left up to the partner to have to execute programs that perhaps supplier has created. When taking a look at this partner-led approach, it encourages the partners to take on more of a fulfillment role in the channel versus leading the charge and having their face in front of the client. So as we examine partner-led marketing, we have to look at it from the lens of who is determining best in class. And this really needs to be approached as it's a shared road. What channel leaders are struggling with and what they're searching for is that common definition of what best in class means. What does success mean from the supplier side of the house? Might mean raising partner engagement. I'll tell you this, and I'm going to remind you of this as I go through my presentation, but partner adoption in the channel is at an all-time low. So from a supplier's view, from their lens, it might be raising partner engagement, creating more stickiness in their program, maybe up-leveling partner marketing skills and execution capability. And it's certainly improving program ROI and visibility into that return on investment. But from a partner side of the house, if you examine it from their lens, really what they're looking for is ease of doing business. And any survey that I have seen done throughout my career before joining Serious Decisions and since I've come on as a research analyst, one of the top 3 inhibitors of partners not doing business with suppliers is ease of doing business. It's too hard to do business with that supplier. But they're also looking for demand creation opportunities and supplier support and building and driving that demand. They really look for the brand to lead in that demand and awareness. And then they're looking for investment. So creating and delivering subject matter expertise and even incentives or dollars, funding to help support those activities. So as we take this and we look at it from the partner side of the house and we start to examine partner experience, what we're examining is how to best deliver demand programs to and through your partners. But first we have to consider what's going on in the industry. And this is something that many partners don't have access or visibility into, but there are 3 key trends that when I'm speaking to partners, I highlight for them because it really drives home some of the other aspects around the change in buyer behavior, the necessary change in the programs that we're producing and delivering to buyers. So the first trend is around online marketing. And what that trend is today, we actually see over 58% of all leads coming in over the web. But we see that increasing to 71% by 2015. And according to my watch, it's halfway through 2014, so we're not far off from that mark. The other trend is, as we did a B2B marketer survey, we actually polled our clients and asked them how many of the B2B marketers actually had formalized training. And over 75% of them claimed to have honed their skills on the job using trial and error, never actually having the support or development of formalized training. So if that's 75% over global organizations within our client base of over 1,000 client companies, you can imagine from a partner's perspective that that percentage is probably higher where they don't have access to formalized training. The last trend that we look at is really around the sales cycle, and this is the change in the B2B buyer behavior. And what we're finding is that buyers prefer, their preference is to research and access information online and digitally before actually engaging with a sales rep. So from a partner sales perspective, the sales cycle itself is not changing, the length is not changing, but the time with which partner sales reps have to influence the buyer is being compacted. So they have less time to influence the buyer. So having set the stage around what's happening in the industry, the lens that we use to access the information, we're now going to look at the traditional approach. So how traditionally have suppliers embarked on the process of delivering marketing programs to and through their partners? Well, they actually allow partners to petition for marketing dollars to develop new lead generating activities, oftentimes using what is called market development funds. And if we look at the definition of a market development fund, it should be in front of a sale. It should not be based on what a partner has done previously for you, which oftentimes is the reasoning behind awarding program dollars. So really what it is looking at a partner comes to with this limited marketing expertise, will come to you as a supplier and suggest, well, I have a great proposal, I have a wonderful idea, can you fund it? You look at it from their perspective, they achieved their sales goals for the previous year, so you award them the dollars. Then what happens is that the program is largely developed by you, the supplier, creating the program, and then passed to the partner to execute. And that's where the visibility gets murky, because it goes into a black hole, and you as a supplier funding these activities have limited visibility. You might not know how many people attended that event, were there qualified leads, how many actually converted to pipeline opportunities. So it goes into that black hole where you are struggling with, was that program even successful? So to combat that approach, what we've seen organizations do is develop a list of ingredients. So creating a list of all of the elements that partners may need to whip up a marketing program. So you may use a direct mail template, you might use a landing page, even a telemarketing script, and you put it on the portal. So you make it available in a place that the partners can access. The problem with that is, and I mentioned that partner adoption of programs, and particularly of accessing portals on a consistent basis, is bottoming it out about 15%. So partners aren't paying attention. So by leaving these and putting these out there, there's a build it and they will come approach. Partners aren't using them. Why aren't they using them? Well, the main issue is bandwidth. They're managing multiple vendor relationships at any given time. So there's too many vendors, too many initiatives. And often suppliers will create offers to their entire partner ecosystem. So by doing so and trying to make sure that it was create something, a one-size-fits-all type of program, the offers don't resonate with them. They're not of high value. So they might not be directed at the specific partner type or the industry or vertical, even end-user buyer that these partners are targeting. And I already talked about the difficulty to engage, particularly as it relates to the MDF process. That's why we see so many partners walking away from what we deem as free money. And you know, to many marketers, that seems, you know, pretty crazy, but that is what happens. And then lastly, they can't find what they're looking for. So when they go to the portal, they can't find that list of ingredients, or they lack the skill set or even a marketing resource at the partner organization to assemble that jigsaw puzzle when you deliver all those list of ingredients. So when we look at it from the partner's perspective, really what are the issues facing both partner sales and partner marketing as they develop these tools for delivery? Well, sales side issues, the biggest complaint that we hear from channel sales is that the program content does not reflect the way that they sell. And so while some suppliers are addressing the issue and letting partners customize content for themselves, our research actually indicates that there may be no one at the partner who knows how to customize the content, or worse yet, is even willing to do so. And then furthermore, we hear our partners complaining that suppliers make them follow that onerous proposal process, requiring them to fill out forms to apply, comply, proof of performance in order to get reimbursed for those funds. On the marketing side of the house, what we see, those marketing side issues, is rather than taking a different approach, channel marketing is also to blame for the lack of adoption, because as partners themselves, they put too much focus on that pre-execution process. Yet when we do listen to the partners and we put ourselves in their shoes, what they say is that not only do they not have the expertise to develop or customize the content, what happens is they have little interest in doing so. So what happens is the content either gets misused or not used at all. And so we're suffering from that lack of adoption, and we don't have that visibility. There's no ROI. We don't know how our program dollars are being spent. So if we put ourselves in a partner's shoes, really, what is their number one request? Partner's number one request is more leads. In fact, if you ask the partner what their number 2 and number 3 request would be, it would be more leads and more leads. So we know where our partner's coming from, and we know what they're asking us for. So at Serious Decisions, we took a hard look at this and we said, what is the best way? If we were to examine best-in-class programs, what would be some common elements of programs that were actually exceeding industry standards? So those that were getting the great adoption numbers or improved adoption numbers from those 15 to 20%, where they were up-leveling marketing, partner marketing skills, and they were actually getting visibility into the ROI and the return on their investment. And one of the first things that we recognized were that each of these programs that did exceed industry standards started with strong partner and field data. They knew who their partner was, and they knew who their target buyer was. And this was important, and I'll show you that as I start to build out a process that we came up with. The second one was there was an element of planning and marketing training that not only increased the participation, so it drove the engagement with the partners, but it also helped up-level their execution capability when it came to those demand programs. Next, they employed concierge-like services and prescriptive guidance. So they didn't just leave it up to the partner to find their way. Again, I think I said that low touch does not necessarily mean no touch. So they acted as a guide in showing partners what programs to use and how to access them. And then as we looked at the programs themselves, based on some of the industry trends that we were seeing, were pre-programmed and actually contained less events and were more outcome-based. As we said, more and more buyers are preferring to access information digitally. So it looked at that and it recognized and offered more inbound and digital programs. And then lastly, these programs were more predictable and measurable, particularly because they were more outcome-based. You were able to examine and have some predetermined ROI that you were able to follow up on. So when we took a look at that and we combined all of the research, the questions, the view from the partner, the view from the supplier, through extensive research, we came up with a best-in-class framework that we actually call fast-tracking demand creation. And what this process does is it engages the partner in a process that they're less likely to fall out of. So it drives better engagement and better marketing performance with partners. I'm going to go through this process fairly quickly because I want to show you some of the information behind each of these steps. But suffice to say that this includes 4 key phases. It includes a data collection phase, a marketing enablement phase. Third phase is a demand creation phase, which is interesting because I said this is fast-tracking demand, but demand creation is that third phase. And then lastly, it has a performance measurement phase. Particularly when you're funding partner marketing programs using MDF or marketing co-op or discretionary marketing funds, you should not fund anything you cannot measure. So this is going to be critical, and I'll show you some of the key areas that you should be measuring when it comes to the partner performance. So the key to this process really is it's got 4 phases but 6 steps that when followed sequentially in the order that I'm going to lay it out, we have seen organizations go from about 20% adoption to 60 to 70% adoption of their demand program. So that's a huge uplift and incremental lift in the adoption and engagement of their program. So the first step is looking at the partner, understanding who the partner is. So understanding what the partner type is, are they a systems integrator, are they a traditional VAR, and what are some of the field requirements. So is it a geography-based field requirement? Is it a vertical? Or is it a large enterprise versus, say, general territory? So you're going to create programs, tactics, and measurement based on those parameters. You take that information of knowing who your partner is and the target customer segment, and you deliver some marketing fundamentals. So this is a marketing enablement phase. Often you hear organizations deliver product and sales enablement. Many are starting to look at how do I deliver marketing enablement. So some key marketing fundamentals. So looking at the buyer's journey and the demand type for your product or solution that you're engaging your partners in selling, and aligning specific programs, assets, and tools along that buyer's journey. So that's that play execution. So aligning that marketing requirement based on the customer segment and based on that specific buyer's journey. And then delivering those marketing fundamentals. It's not giving partners a PhD in marketing. It's up-leveling their skill set just enough so that they understand what programs resonate best with which buyers and why to use specific tools and assets at key critical inflection points along the buyer's journey. So you deliver that in a marketing certification, and that certification becomes the enablement bridge to demand creation, because that interlock is key. The interlock, the impact that enablement has on demand programs is huge. What we see is when you can deliver an enablement program and then make those partners a demand offer on the heels of that enablement program. So literally, when they are finished with that program and they're taking an assessment, make them an offer to your demand program. They are 3 times more likely to take you up on that demand program. And how organizations are creating that timing, because that timing is critical and that timing can be difficult, because often the enablement function sits outside of the demand creation function. So they're 2 siloed functions. And so that certification becomes key because it becomes the enablement bridge that channel marketing can offer. And it becomes the stickiness or the glue that using concierge services so partners don't get distracted, that you're entangling them into the process and then making the demand offer. Based on the marketing fundamentals and the play execution, they'll see why you've developed prepackaged menu-based plays and why those specific plays are important to that buyer. And I mentioned MDF and marketing funds. If you're using marketing funds in this process, you use them at this juncture here in the marketing certification. So you use them as the glue to reward them for participating in the enablement training and to use towards purchase of those menu-based plays. And then lastly, I said you should not fund what you cannot measure. And we'll talk about some key metrics and play ROI that organizations are tracking today and showing greater performance with their partners. So just very quickly, I want to just walk you through just a couple of these slides behind each of those steps to give you a little bit more information behind them. I mentioned that the first phase of our journey was data collection, and it's really looking at the different partner profile and field requirements. So really to improve the effectiveness of demand programs, we see that suppliers are creating processes that actually break down the organizational barriers in the following ways. When they develop demand creation programs for partners, channel sales and field-based channel marketers jointly collect data on their partners and the field requirements in order to define what activities are best suited for that specific partner type and for that specific customer segment. So what we see them building out is something like this. There will be different partner experiences based on the partner types. So just as there will be different marketing requirements or marketing program or tactic mix based on the customer segment. So we look at the different customer segments and we identify some of the partners that play predominantly in those segments. We start to build out the marketing requirements. If you're looking at general territory or in the SMB space, you're going to see that those requirements are more digital and more inbound or pull marketing. That's what buyers prefer, and that's part of the marketing fundamentals that you're going to deliver to partners. If you're looking at more of a major accounts or large enterprise, the tactic mix is going to require account-based marketing tactics, so relationship marketing. And that also is going to be reflected on the menu that's offered at as part of this process. As we go into the next phase, the enablement phase, again, this is taking that information on the partner profile and the customer segment and building out the buyer's journey. So it's looking at the buyer's journey, which is in this multicolored arrows. These are the steps that the buyer goes through as they make the decision to purchase product solutions. So what you do is you align your marketing, your content, and your assets, your marketing programs underneath the buyer's journey and show partners what you're doing and how you're mapping the conversation for them. This drives not only greater utilization of your programs, but as part of the marketing certification, you're also going to walk them through these play execution. So if I was to show you what the marketing certification looks like, it would be creating that marketing fundamentals of what I just showed you on the previous slide on the buyer's journey. but and it's also aligning your content and your program and your assets accordingly, and then showing partners how and where to find it on the portal. So you're up-leveling their skill set, but also reminding them on where to find it, which is going to drive engagement and usage. And then you should certify them. This should be a badge certification. So as partners come into this certification, they should be rewarded at the end. They should be, you are now qualified. You're certified in XYZ product or solution. And you're now awarded 5,000 MDF points, dollars, or funds to use to execute marketing plays. So you use those incentive dollars. That MDF, that question that we started this off with was, what's the best use of my MDF dollars? You use it in this process to reward and engage partners. And then you don't let them fall off the radar. On the heels of that training and certification, you reach out to them employing concierge services. Congratulations, you're now qualified. Let me walk you through those marketing plays that you just learned about that are important to your target buyer, and then let me plug you into the menu. I'm going to show you a menu of pre-packaged, predetermined, outcome-based marketing plays that resonate with your target buyer. So that marketing requirement that I talked about on that chart, based on partner profile and customer segment, is reflected across the play type. This is showing you an example across SMB and major accounts. But it shows you the different plays. You can have different menus based on geography, based on systems integrators versus solution providers, based on healthcare and financial services. So you base your menu on the buyer and the solution and that buyer's journey that those individuals will be taking. And you spell out what's included, the expectations, and some predetermined results. So you've got the partner engaged. You're walking them through the process, but instead of asking partners every quarter about what they want to do with their MDF investment dollars and what decisions they're making, you allow them to use MDF like a PayPal, right? So you PayPal-like currency to buy demand creation plays that are pre-packaged and pre-programmed for them. And then as I promised you, I wanted to show you some performance measurement. And so what we see organizations examine is measurement across 3 key areas. If I was to look at the menu that I showed you on the previous page, this play ROI would be based on those individual tactics that are on the menu. And as I said, the different tactics are going to come at a different cost and have different measurement. So something that you're going to create for large enterprise or major accounts is going to have a higher cost per lead than, say, something for the SMB. When you look at the menu as a whole and the marketing campaign efforts that you're doing with partners, the metrics that you want to examine and the performance that you want to measure is around that menu itself. Did we have the large enough database? How many partners were actually participating in this campaign and these efforts? How many actually took our certification and how much of the MDF was utilized? And what this is going to get you to is at the end of the day, when you're looking at a program, and more often we see organizations approach this process in a pilot form, what you're going to be able to say when somebody, finance or a senior executive, tap you on the shoulder and say, what did you do with that $50,000 that I gave you to invest in partner-led marketing campaigns? You can say, well, actually, this is what marketing contributed to pipeline. So for every dollar that we used of that $50,000, we got X return and pipeline opportunities. Because you've built that into the process, you've baked that in, and you've alerted your partners and set their expectations that you're going to do follow-up reporting as a requirement to access those programs. So that's a powerful way that you're going to be able to track and deliver marketing ROI, not only in your own organizations, but as you go and petition for more funds. So I walked you through a process very quickly, but I want to make sure that we get to these real-life use cases, which are critically important. So I just want to leave you with a couple of takeaways and recommendations. Just know that when you're working with partners and getting them to participate in any type, particularly partner-led demand programs, it's hard. It can be difficult. It definitely takes a concerted effort, which is why you want to look at an end-to-end process and go in and prove that this process works before you open the floodgates and leading those partners to execute those campaigns. you want to take the guesswork out. These partners are not marketing experts, so you want to determine what partner activities you want to put on the menu, and then work with them, walk them through the reasoning behind that, give them, up-level their skill set, giving them marketing certification, and then walk them through the process that they need to, and show them the way that they need to execute. And then lastly, use those channel incentives as a currency. Use it as the stickiness and the reward for the programs that partners are participating in. So as partners commit to your program and commit to the partner-led demand programs, offer them a reward, give them the funds, because now you know that these marketing plays, these prepackaged menu of activities are pre-approved for MDF usage. So it goes to the ease of use of partners and the ROI of your program. So having said that, I know that was a lot to take in. I think that really where you see this start to solidify is in real use cases. So Eric, I think this is a great opportunity for you to take us away and show us some of the exciting things that you're doing.
Thanks, Maria. That was a very powerful story, and I hope to show that power in action. And I think you and I both agree. We've talked about this before. You know, it's one thing to see these kinds of things in slideware, but to actually see them live, I think, brings it home for many. So I get that tough job, and I'm going to start now. But thanks for that, and please feel free to comment as we go through this.
Absolutely.
If you like. The first thing I want to start with before we jump into the demand, the through partner marketing solutions, the different examples, is the concept of something we call the partner pyramid at Treehouse. And the concept here is, you need to start at the beginning. If you do not have a channel program, you cannot jump into co-branded, automated nurturing campaigns. You need to get some of the basics solved first. And the most basic is having some sort of value proposition for your partners. Your product is bigger, stronger, faster. You're going to make more margin for partners. You're easier to do business with, which Maria alluded to earlier. All of those can contribute to your partner value proposition, but your product by itself and your partner program by itself won't equal the value proposition. The combination of everything together is what brings it together for your partners. And a lot of times we see companies sort of forget the partners need to see some value here too. The second thing is you need to do automation. We talked a lot about concierge services and some of the, I'm going to show you some pretty neat things that we can do. But if you're working in, like many of our customers in the realm of thousands of partners, you need to automate things like partner onboarding. And, if you're going to offer co-branded, automated emails or nurturing campaigns, you need to do that in an automated fashion, at least to some extent, if not fully, or, you're going to have to hire full-time people to make that happen. And if you're someone like, Quantum, who supports 35,000 partners on 3 different continents, you're not going to be able to do that in any sort of scalable fashion without automation. The next is sales enablement. One of the things that partners ask for, as Maria was saying, is leads, leads, leads. Number 2 on the list frequently is training. But enabling sales teams with the tools they need to successfully sell, service, and support your product. Whether that's, PowerPoint on how to handle objections or how to sell product XYZ, you need to enable those sales teams with those pieces they need to go out and make calls and support customers on your behalf. Then we can get into the marketing enablement pieces. Once my sales team's been trained, I've got a system that can onboard people. I can, I understand a key component of what Maria talked about. I understand the profiles of my partners. Only then can I move into, okay, for these type of partners, I want to create these types of marketing enablement solutions. For another type of partner, I want to create different types of marketing enablement solutions. And if you built this pyramid correctly, you develop a partnership that's going to increase your sales through better enabled partners who can go out and create their own demand in addition to executing demand that you give them. Can also decrease costs through things like automation. and support by better trained partners. So just keep that in mind. We talk about partner marketing enablement. The benefits should be pretty obvious. I'm not going to go through all of these. But a couple of key things to remember is for the partners, as Maria said, she mentioned 75% of marketers in her client community learn their skills on the job. Think about most of the partner organizations you work with at your company. My guess is, like hers, that number is much lower. Formal training is probably the exception rather than the rule, and by putting these pre-canned or predetermined plays together for your partners, you can make it easy for them to go out and create their own demand. You're going to get consistent branding in the field. You're going to get consistent messaging in the field. You're going to get better partner loyalty by helping them increase their leads and go out and find their own customers. There's going to be benefits on both sides here. All right, I'm going to start out with three things. We're going to talk about co-branded, automated, on-demand co-branded marketing materials. How many times partners go out, they meet with the client, and I need an excuse to get back in. How about I give this guy a white paper on some subject that we discussed during our sales meeting? And what if that white paper is not only got some value for my customer, but also then has my partner logo and my partner contact information in it? Wouldn't that be great? And that's how co-branded marketing materials work. I'm going to show you these live in a minute. But essentially, you have a number of different plays or pre-canned materials. And we already know who the partner is. We already know who their profile is. So all their company address, phone number, all that's already pre-populated. All they have to do is upload their logo. In some systems, they don't even have to upload their own logo because they're using something like Partner Marketplace, and we already have a logo that would work. So the partner comes in, they choose to preview a piece, and here I can see my partner logo is going to go here, my partner address is going to go here. I like this, so I go ahead and adjust any of the information if I want to, upload a compatible logo, and now here I can see I've got my co-branded collateral with my logo, my address and phone number as a partner on it. To take a look at what this looks like live, here is the Asegra portal, just to prove to you I'm using real stuff. This is the portal I was just showing you in Slideware. You can see they have a number of new pieces here, so let's take a look at a new one. And here again, they've kept the theme of putting the partner information on the bottom of each page. Asegra is probably one of our better companies in terms of their commitment to the channel and everything they do. They want a strong focus on making sure their partners know that they're supporting their business model. SunGuard, another example here. On this one, I'll do for you live. Here, I've got all of my information. I'm, in this case, Reagan Wilson. I'm logged in. And I want to, let's say I want to do this Managed Oracle Services sell sheet. And I look at a preview. I can see my logo is going to go here. I can see, looks like my logo may also go here and my contact information there. So get the preview. And then I'm going to upload my logo, which I've already pointed to for the sake of time here. And I just hit download. And I can open. And now I have a print-ready document as a partner that I can print as many of these as I need. Here's my logo, my address, and or maybe I want to send this to my potential client, my prospect after my call. Hey, John Smith, thanks for meeting with me today. We talked about Managed Oracle Services. Here's a white paper on that. Please call me if you have any questions. I'd like to follow up with you next week. But we're not asking the partner to be an HTML programmer. We're not asking them to be a graphic designer. We're asking them to do some very, very simple things. And in this case, in order to be successful as a partner, all I have to do is pick which sheet, pick a logo. That's it. All the rest is done for me. And then I can go ahead and produce the piece that I want or need. So that's an example of co-branded documents. And again, we already know who the partner is, so we've done the data collection step. We've put together a very nicely branded sheet that makes it difficult for the partner to make a mistake. We've tightly controlled the branding and the look and feel. And we've made it very easy for them, prescriptive guidance on, hey, your logo should only be this big by this big. And really, that's the only complex thing the partner has to do here in order to take advantage of this service. So very consistent with the kinds of things Maria pointed out that best-in-class companies are doing. Let's move on to the next thing, and this is one of the more sexy pieces, and that's our automated on-demand demand gen campaigns or email campaigns. There's a lot of interest in this. A lot of our customers are picking that up these days. So let's take a quick look. And here we've got SGI. Just a note about SGI, thousands of partners, 3 major geographic theaters, both authorized level VAR partners, and then they also support a specific level for the distribution partners. Here they've provided a number of campaigns for, in this case, this is an authorized partner, which is a VAR, and I can choose from this list of campaigns, and similar to the collateral, all the things that I know about the partner already pre-populated. All the partner has to do is upload their logo, and in this case, their list. They can preview the activity, and here, it's not just an outbound email. Here I've got a pre-packaged, pre-planned play with a space for my logo, a space for a call to action and some partner details, and a call to action to download a white paper. So I'm reaching out and I'm asking the prospects for some information so I can generate a lead. And I as a partner say, yes, I like this. I go ahead and I fill in my call to action. I upload my logo. I upload my opt-in email list. The system sends out the emails, of course, nicely branded, already checked for canned spam, already checked for spam score, already optimized for mobile. All those things done for the partner. Once the email's been sent, if a prospect fills it out, in this case, Ryan Christensen received this email from the partner, says, I like it, I'd like to get that download. They hit the submit button. The partner gets a real-time lead from SGI saying, hey, here's your copy of the report. This is the prospect version. This is the VAR version, and the reseller gets a real-time email saying, hey, Ryan Christensen downloaded this from your email that you sent out. So they're seeing instantaneous value in terms of lead distribution. The other thing the partner gets is a real-time link to the results. And one of the things that Maria and others will tell you is, the reasons partners want to use these kinds of tools is they can't afford a very expensive, very complex demand gen system, nor do they have the talent internally to use one. So providing one that then gives you a detailed report on opens, form fill out, form conversions, link clicks. In this case, this is a little snapshot of the report, shows time spent on the email along with the different email clients that were used. All of those things are important to me as a partner because then I get to measure how effective my campaign was. I'm going to see how many leads I got. I'm going to see the email report. And, of course, the vendor or supplier can see those things on their side as well. So just like we did with co-branded materials, I want to give you a peek at what, in my opinion, are some of our better customer implementations of this. Of course, SGI, this is their most recent. One of the things I want to point out about SGI is I mentioned, these guys are, maybe I didn't mention this, these guys are 5-year-in-a-row winners of CRN 5-star awards. And one of the reasons they are is they do so many things well. Yeah, Partner Program Award winner, 5-star, 5 years in a row. And, you know, Maria talked about doing that first step in understanding the partner profiles. Well, you know, they know who their authorized partners are and who their distributor partners are. One of the things I want you to watch is this menu across the top and this menu down the right-hand side when I change from being an authorized partner to a distribution partner. Now, notice this menu is much smaller. This menu is much smaller. The marketing plays available to me as a distributor are going to be very different than those available to me as an authorized partner. And my marketing plays are going to be in my demand generation section where I can go ahead and request a co-branded email, and they are nicely segmented for me. I have industry solutions. I have newsletters I can forward to my customers. I have storage. You know, these guys both do, of course, very high-end rackable servers along with storage solutions. And again, all I have to do is upload my call to action and my logo, my email list. All the rest is taken for me. I don't have to worry about email deliverability. I don't have to worry about, you know, will I get my leads? I don't have to worry about being an HTML programmer. I don't have to worry about, you know, someone on my staff putting in an image that's 3 megabytes, you know, into an email and having it be the wrong size and getting caught in all the spam filters. All those have been taken care of for me. And of course, there's great reporting on the back end to recognize whether I was successful or not. Another company I think has just done an awesome job in the areas of understanding the partners and understanding the partners' customers is Hill. And if you look at their co-branded email functionality, they've got event campaigns where I can go ahead and say, hey, I want to do a regional partner event, and you know, I can upload a venue photo, time, date, location, all that set up, and all I have to do is, you know, fill out the form down here at the bottom, upload my company information, upload my list of contacts, and away I go. My email and my invite are sent, and automatically all my signups will be sent to me as well. So I have a real-time report of how many people are signing up and who they are and where they're from. So I have events. What is the other thing partners do? Well, they do a lot of appointment setting, right? So I want to have pre-canned plays for appointment setting. And here, you know, I can see, you know, an appointment setting email targeted at Hill end user customers. And for me as a partner, all I have to do is some very minimal, again, data input to get what I need. And here, again, separate programs for distributors, right? VARs do not care about reseller recruitment, right? That's something a distributor is going to care about. So they've separated out their distributors, said, hey, what are my distributor buyer personas, and what kind of programs can I put together to help my distributors reach out to their buyers, which are resellers. And here I've got campaigns set up for them. So 2 good examples of folks working in the co-branded demand gen nurturing campaign area. And I don't have time to show a multi-step nurturing campaign, but you can do those as well. The last thing I want to show is partner directory. And mainly because we just did a great webinar on this. For those of you who weren't able to attend our last webinar with National Instruments, we featured them in a program entitled "Going from Homegrown to Home Run: How to Get to the Next $1.2 billion." And in it, National Instruments talks about how they went about getting PRM implemented. And the tools they picked to generate some pretty amazing results. And I'm going to share the results that they've generated on the last slide before we stop. But essentially, one of the key components of their program, in addition to a portal, is their partner directory. And, you know, Maria called it at the beginning, you know, well, first, second, and third on my partner's wish list is find more leads. Well, the partner directory, or what we call partner marketplace, is designed to do just that. You know, I can drill into any area of the world, and if I just want to find geographically the right partners for me, I can do that. Here they are. I live in France. if I want to go ahead and look by what we call facets, so whether they be industry, let's say, aerospace and avionics is something I'm interested in, or I need as an end user customer. I also need someone certified in automation technology. Now my list gets smaller and smaller, and then I need someone who also knows, data acquisition. All right, here are the NI partners I can work with to get that sort of information. And then if I want to start all over, I can just go ahead and clear all these different facets. So I can look by facet, I can look by region of the world, I can drill down in the map. The other thing I can do is search for keyword. So let's say that I want to search for this company named Averna, because I heard from a friend of mine that they were great. So I can go ahead and search. In addition, the old partner locators we used to have were based on state and zip code, and that's it. Right? We had very little information. This information is tied into the partner's PRM profile. It's automatically updated by the partner and or NI staff. But look at the rich profile I have. Here I've got a nice summary, long description, services offered, level in the program, a year established. I've got all the different locations around the world for this partner. I have all the services and skills, certification, badges that an end user might care about. I have ability to have the partner contact me. So if I fill this out as an end user, the partner's going to get a real-time lead that they can respond to. I also have a multimedia showcase where, as the partner, I can go ahead and upload videos and essentially provide a commercial. Audio,
if you design
video,
or manufacture high-tech.
So a multimedia showcase, and ultimately customer reviews. And here I can see I've got a 4-star review from a customer who used this partner in the partner marketplace. The partner marketplaces are automatically updated. The profiles are updated again, like I said. The partners can update them themselves. So now I'm back in the portal as the partner. Here I can update my company information, my locations. I can manage my members. I can manage my services and skills. I can, upload my different videos. All of that self-managed. And these guys spend a lot of time talking to their partners, their sales teams, upper management to get this right and get it right the first time. They've had their PRM system now implemented for a couple of years, and they shared the following results with us in the last webinar. 91% revenue growth since 2010. 3x, tripled leads to partners. They increased page views on their directory alone by 250,000 page views. And they have 100% complete partner profiles. I would venture to imagine the majority of people who are on our webinar today or run channel programs, there's very, very few that can talk to 100% complete profiles. And that's so important if you want to get the partner marketing enablement, or what we call through partner marketing programs right and complete. So, summary for ourselves and for Maria. How do I guarantee success? Well, first I'm going to start with strong partner and field data. I'm going to understand what type of partners I'm working with. I'm going to make sure I get, this is all that data collection stage Maria was talking about. I'm going to understand the people to whom these partners sell. Distributors sell to resellers. Resellers sell to end users. Who do SIs sell to? Who do my ISVs, IHVs sell to? I need to take those into consideration. Then I'm going to go on a concerted training and empowerment program and communication program and let my partner database understand what's available to them and how to use it. I couldn't agree with Maria more. This is a key step. We have seen in practice exactly what she discussed in terms of training partners and their likelihood to use new features after they've been trained. I love the idea of certifying the partners being, marketing capable. Employing concierge-like services and prescriptive guidance. This is that demand creation step. making sure the partners can do the things they need to do to execute these campaigns, but we're not going to expect them to be graphic designers. We're not going to expect them to be HTML programmers. We're not going to expect them to understand how to use JavaScript. We're going to handle all that stuff for them, and then finally we're going to measure our success and our partners' success. So that's the summary. We're going to open it up for question and answer. Before we do that, Maria, is there any comments or color you'd like to add, or should we just jump right into the questions?
No, I think that was a great, all great examples of use cases which so many of our clients are clamoring for. So, I applaud you for that, and yeah, welcome any questions.
And while we're taking the questions, here are ways to contact us if you are interested and curious. Maria?
Yes?
Information is there on the left. If you're interested in connecting with
I think somebody's speakers are interfering with the audio.
I think it was Jay, and I think we're good.
Good. Okay.
All right. So, Megan, any questions?
Yeah, we do have a few that have come in. And this one actually goes back to the concierge services you were just referencing. So the question is, when you say concierge services, does this mean one-on-one, person-to-person assistance? That would seem difficult to scale.
Eric, I'll jump in and you can add to it, yes, concierge services is the white glove service. It's the guidance, the prescriptiveness of walking your partners through the process and keeping them engaged. It does not necessarily mean one-on-one. It could be one-to-few, one-to-many, depending upon the partner type. I think we said partner experience differs based on partner type. So some of these large partner personas may have a one-to-few relationship, whereas when you look at solutions, and particularly some of the things that Treehouse has just shown us, you can see where you can start to scale concierge services that you can provide prescriptive guidance, but across a larger partner ecosystem.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would agree. I think, in general, we always look to scalability. So how can you set up the program where it's almost impossible for the partner to fail? Can you automate it? Automation being a key portion of that pyramid I talked about at the beginning. That doesn't mean that for the 20% of your partners that do 80% of your business, you may not dedicate an employee to assisting them even further or having special programs for them. I know for several of our large clients, our account managers will do some things over and above what's in the pre-canned or automated functionality to provide incremental value. And in that case, it's worth the extra expense and the extra effort.
Okay, great. I think we have time for one more. What's the best way to deliver and or access a menu? Can we do it ourselves?
So it's very interesting. What I find is many organizations, as they start to think about the process, want to do it in-house, but those of us who have lived and breathed in channel marketing realize that often we are either under-resourced or under-invested in. So what I find is usually over 40 to 50% of organizations will outsource that, particularly because you want to prove that the process works and then look to scale it. You want to make sure that all of those 6 steps and those 4 phases are aligned so that you can show the return. So that's where the solutions and technology come in, because that can not only help automate and scale the program, but it also can act as your concierge and create those key interlock and be that glue that continues this from start to finish, including looking at the reporting and delivering some of the ROI and numbers and dashboards that organizations often struggle the most with.
Okay, great. Well, it looks like we're just over the hour. So I just want to thank you, Maria, for your presentation today. I think it was extremely helpful and really great content. As I mentioned, for attendees, we're going to email you a link of this recorded webinar when it's available. In the meantime, please feel free to reach out with any additional questions you may have to the confirmation that's displayed right now. And then in closing, I just want to mention this is the end of this webinar series. However, we are going to be kicking off our new series, the Content Marketing Mechanics webinar series, on July 31st at 1 p.m. And our first presenter will be Robert Rose of the Content Marketing Institute, followed by actually Stephanie Sisler of Series Decisions on August 7th.
Great. Well,
so
thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
everyone.
Maria and Eric.
Thank you, Maria. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good afternoon.
All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.